everyone. Welcome to Montessori Matters with Blessing Fort-Ike. In this video, I'm starting a series on school readiness. School readiness is the necessary skill that preschoolers need to develop before moving to grade school. Grade school is also known as primary school. Preschoolers are children under the age of 6 years. There are certain skills they must develop to be able to function properly, excellently in grade school. And these skills are very important to them. These are the skills I'm discussing in this series. And the first among the skill is the motor skill, which is the focus of this video. Motor skill is the ability required to carry out our daily movement, our daily tasks. They are very important to us because without them, we cannot function properly. These are skills that we use without even thinking about it, without thinking about them. We just use them, just like picking up your phone, getting out of bed, all requires motor skill. Motor skill is divided into two: gross motor skill and fine motor skill. Gross motor skill. Gross motor are the ability required to control the large muscles of the arm and of the leg. It's very important. Without gross motor functioning properly, you can't walk upright, you can't sit upright. So you need gross motor to be functioning well. What are some of the activities we do that requires gross motor? Like I mentioned before, it enables us to sit properly. It enables you to stand properly, to walk, like walking up and down the stairs, swimming, dressing up. All these require the gross motor skill. And once this is developed in a child, the child will be confident to do things for his or herself. So, how do we refine or stimulate the gross motor in a child or in children? The first activity I will recommend is walking on the line. You see children walking on the line. Sometimes their instincts tells them to do it because they want to refine a particular skill, maybe because of balancing or coordination. Because gross motor, for you to be able to maintain balance, for you to be able to coordinate yourself, you require the gross motor skill to be refined, to be activated. So you see them do it. So if you see them do it, you encourage them. Even if you don't see them, you can create this activity for them. One way you can create it is that get paper tape, draw a circle, and let the children walk on the line, heel to toe. Let's say, for instance, this is the heel of one of the foot, and this is the toe. My fingers are the toe of one of the other foot. You make them walk heel to toe. That's heel to toe, heel to toe. You see the child walking, standing upright, looking upright, not looking down on the line. When the child walks, by so doing, the child is able to coordinate himself, is developing the gross motor skill that will enable him to stand upright, that will enable him to coordinate his or herself. Another activity I will recommend is playing ball. Throwing and catching ball, throwing and catching objects are all ways to refine the gross motor skill. Another thing I will recommend is a threading of beads. When they thread they are using all their hands. Let me give you another example now. Throwing of ball, they catch it. Then rocking horse. riding of tricycle, riding of scooters, all develop the gross motor skill. Another one is crawling on tunnel. God has made it so that every child should crawl before walking. However, some children, just after sitting, they walk, they don't crawl. But they need it for their gross motor development. So what do you need to do as a caregiver of such a child? Get turning to encourage crawling. Let them crawl on their fours. By so doing, you are helping the child refine his gross motor skill. And apart from that, your crawling helps to harmonize the left and right brain, and you wouldn't want your child to be left out on this. So get turners, get trampolines for them to jump on. But children under 3, I will advise you get trampoline with the bar for safety purposes. So get the one with the safety bar for children under 3 to jump on. These are some of the activities I will recommend for gross motor development. Like I said before, I say motor skills divided into 2, gross motor and fine motor. So what is fine motor skill? Fine motor skill is the ability required to control the small muscles of the hand, the finger, and the toes in connection with the eyes. So it's also called eye-hand coordination. This enables us to grip and manipulate things, enable us to walk with the hands, and fine motor skill, if it's well refined, you'll be able to use just the thumb and any of the fingers, and it's a way of preparing the pizza grip. Also, fine motor skill is a pizza grip skill also. So what are the activities that needs this fine motor skill? Before then, I will tell you this, that it is essential for us to develop the fine motor skill because it boosts the children's confidence to do things independently. And apart from that, it's a preparation for school. It's one of the skills the child needs to be ready to go to grade school. That's why it's essential for us to refine it. It's essential for us to stimulate it. So what are some of the activities that need gross motor skill? To walk, dressing up. For you to be able to button your buttons, your fine motors must be working properly. For you to be able to zip your zippers, it must be working properly. Even for lacing shoes, you need the gross motor. Personal care, like combing of the hair, brushing of the teeth, using the restroom, or require the fine motor skill to be working properly. And our children need it to be ready for grade school. Another activity that needs the gross motor skill to be functioning properly is feeding. The child should be able to feed himself independently. It will be unfair for a teacher to be feeding a child in grade 1 or grade 2. So what are we supposed to do as children, as a parent that care for children under 6? Do you have preschool? You must teach the children how to eat by themselves. I've heard some parents, even some preschool owners say, I can't stand them eating by themselves. I ought to feed them for speed and so that they will not mess up the place. No, you are not helping the child. You are not preparing the child for grade school. Why will a parent send a child to your preschool if they don't want you to prepare them for grade school? So one of the ways to prepare them for grade school is to allow them feed themselves. Another ability that requires the fine motor skill to be working properly is ability to open and close lid. In grade school, they should be able to open and close their water bottle and their fruit flasks. It's a skill that needs to be developed. Then another one is the ability to turn door knobs. They should be able to open and close door. These are some of the activities that require gross motor skill that our children need to develop before going to grade school, like using of scissors. Being able to have scissors control and cut on a straight line is a fine motor skill that needs to develop before going to grade school. So how do we refine develop or stimulate the fine motor skill of our children? The first thing I would say is that let them work with their hands. Let them do things with their hands. As they work with their hands, as they do things with their hands, they are refining their fine motor, they are refining their pizza grip, which is a preparation for grade school. So give them Play-Doh to manipulate. Let them use cookie cutters to play with to cut the Play-Doh. Let them use blunt knife. Let them give them rolling pin. Give them a chopping board for them to be able to work with the Play-Doh. And as they do this, they are refining their gross motor skill. Another activity that I would recommend for development of the fine motor skill is threading of beads. Let them use beads. And for children under 3, it should be big beads as this for safety reasons, so that they won't swallow it or put it in their mouth. So you have to get big beads for them to thread. As they are trying to put the shoelace inside, they are working with their pizza grip. By so doing, they are refining their pizza grip. Then transferring. Then let them transfer with spoons. They can transfer rice, they can transfer beans, anything great. They can transfer even pasta. They should be able to transfer with spoons and transfer it from one bowl to another. They should be able to pour water from one bottle to another using funnel, or pouring water from bottle to cup. All these are ways to refine their fine motor skill, their pizza grip in preparation for grade school. As they do that, let them do water play, let them do sand play. You give them different things that they can use to measure, they can use to transfer. By so doing, they are activating their fine motor skill, which God has put in them to be able to succeed in life. Like I told you before, it's what you need in your daily activity. And apart from that, you need it to function excellently in school. So you can let them draw. People say, my child cannot draw. You can get the stencils for them to be able to draw. Let them trace around the outline of the stencils. After tracing, they can color it with crayon. They can scribble. Scribbling with markers, with pencils is a way of stimulating, refining the fine motor skill. What about that? There are a lot of activities. Let me say pegging. Let them try to open and close pegs. Is another way to refine the fine motor skill. There are a lot of activity. Squashing of plastic bottles is another way to refine it, because you're working with the hand. Anything you can do with the hand, just expose your children to do it. Even throwing a catching ball is a way to refine the gross motor skills and the fine motor skills. You know, I mentioned it in the gross motor skills. So your ability to be able to catch it is the fine motor skills. Your ability to be able to throw it is both fine and gross motor working together, because you need a good posture to be able to throw. You need your eye and hand coordination to be able to catch. So all these are ways to refine the motor skill, the fine motor skill, the gross motor skill in preparation for school. The activities are inexhaustible. However, I will stop here. I believe you've gotten one or two things, you've learned one or two activities to be able to help your child to develop his or her gross motor and fine motor skill. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your contact. I will see you in the next video for the continuation of school readiness.